I want to go to former Governor Tim Pawlenty. Governor, thanks for joining us. Big night tonight. It's been a sort of interesting RNC thus far. It's been lively, it's been real, it's been honest, and it's had some moments that I don't think the planners had thought about. But it's all about what happens tonight and how Donald Trump comes across, isn't it?
Yeah, the vast majority of whether this convention is going to be deemed a success or not is how Donald Trump, the nominee, is received, not just by the people inside that hall, but across America. So he's going to have to walk that tightrope between making the hall animated and excited, but also making sure it's the kind of message where you can draw in some independents and some people who are otherwise not automatically going to vote for the Republicans.
Well, how does he do that? Because I'm not quite sure that's happened. I've seen the more interesting, exciting moments have been the sort of things that resonate the most with core Donald Trump voters, which is great because it's a big party atmosphere. But ultimately, with the world watching, this is the best chance to make his pitch to everybody.
Yeah, and I think he can do two things. One is to show those who are concerned about his temperament or their perceived view of him as impulsive, showing a side that is reserved, measured, thoughtful, but also not going so far in that regard that you don't remember who got you here in terms of those grassroots activists who are passionate about big quantum change in American politics and American policy. So he's going to have to do both. I think he's got both those gears or tools in the toolbox, whatever metaphor you want to use. So I think he definitely can make that a success. So
let's talk about those potential tools. It feels like, in what we're hearing, the themes could be a combination law and order, considering the headlines particularly, and the idea that Donald Trump wrapped himself around a law enforcement community long before these recent horrific ambushes of police officers. The wall, which of course is the thing that the red meat love. Perhaps NATO, and on the other part of this, on the economic side of it, the trade, because that resonates with his crowd and the Bernie Sanders crowd. You think that's the right combination?
If you boil all this down, step away from all the polls, all the rhetoric, all the pundits, and just ask the American people, what do you want most? It comes down to basically two things. One, keep us safe. Two, grow jobs or put some money in my pocket through an economic opportunity. And so on the safety side and the security side, that's fully within Donald Trump's strike zone. And then on the economy, my hope, and I know the hope of a lot of others, is over time he's going to lean into that even heavier. Because as you know, there's a lot of anxiety out there about changing job markets, stagnant wage growth, what's going to happen next in terms of the economy. So I hope he addresses that tonight as well. And he's got a lot to talk about. Better trade deals, pro-growth tax cuts. Trying to slow down health care costs in a way that make it more affordable, and on down the list, regulatory reform, unleashing more of the American energy sector. Those are all things that, he doesn't have to dwell on the policy details and make it boring, but at least hit the touchstones.
Yeah, so interesting because I just was talking with Charlie Gasparino, and those things that you talked about sound like things that Republicans have tried to articulate many times before, or the Heritage Institute speech. Where does he, though, differ? Where is the Donald Trump that's different from the traditional politician? Where does that voice come in tonight? Is it on the wall? Do you get the crowd chanting, build that wall? And if you do, are you setting up Hillary Clinton?
I think, most people do not follow all the details of this stuff or the tick list that I just mentioned other than conceptually. I think what they see in him is somebody who's trying to and probably has partially transcended the normal calculations based on strength, and a projection or an image of strength. They might not be able to tell you what his health care policy is, but they believe he's going to come to Washington, D.C., kick over some furniture, and unlike the other people who yap and don't get anything done, he's actually going to get something done. That's what they perceive in him, and so I'm not sure it really matters what the details of what he says, as long as he projects a sense of, I'm from the outside, I can get it done, I can change the you-know-what show that is Washington, D.C.
Okay, fill in the blank. Governor, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right.